Chris Sutton is always vocal when it comes to Celtic, and now he has dropped a big Brendan Rodgers claim. We will go over exactly what he said in today's video. Not only that, we will also cover all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours.
But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.
Could we be about to see the first glimpse of Jamai Simpson-Pusey in the Celtic first team? The young defender joined the Celts on loan from Manchester City during the summer, arriving with a strong reputation after being named Premier League 2 Player of the Year last season. But since then, it's been a quiet few months for the Englishman. Simpson-Pusey hasn't featured on the bench in the League or Europa League, though he did make the squad for Celtic's Champions League qualifier against Kairat Almaty and turned out once for the B team earlier this season. Now, with Cameron Carter-Vickers ruled out for up to 5 months, the 20-year-old could finally be set for an opportunity to break into Brendan Rodgers' plans, at least initially as bench cover in the Premiership. Celtic are stretched to their limits defensively and across the pitch. Alistair Johnston and Kelechi Iheanacho both limped off on Thursday night with hamstring issues. Dyson Maeda is already struggling with a similar problem, and Jota remains sidelined until the new year following cruciate surgery. It's a moment where the squad needs fresh energy, and Simpson-Pusey could be about to make his long-awaited step into the senior setup. Austin Trusty was back on the bench on Thursday, but Simpson-Pusey's chance might be just around the corner. Now, for the main story, as Chris Sutton has written that he believes Brendan Rodgers is wanting to leave Celtic, it comes as the manager is entering the final months of his contract, set to expire next summer. Despite some talks, there has been no formal offer made to the manager, and one doesn't seem imminent. Brendan Rodgers wasn't backed in the summer and was later briefed against by a tabloid newspaper. Writing in the Daily Record, the former Celtic striker bluntly opened his column with, "I'm starting to believe that Brendan Rodgers wants out of Celtic. There, I've said it, Rodgers has made it clear that he would extend his contract if certain conditions were met, though he hasn't specified what those are." Fans have made their own assumptions. By next summer, Rodgers will have managed Celtic for nearly 6 years in total, a long stint for any manager. The club may decide that fresh energy is needed, while Rodgers himself could look to return to the Premier League or even take on a challenge abroad. Whatever happens, as Sutton notes, a decision must be made soon. In other news, Celtic's Europa League match with Feyenoord could be played in front of a reduced crowd. The Dutch champions are facing a partial stadium closure after another UEFA wrap. The Celts are due to visit Rotterdam at the end of November, in what's shaping up to be a crucial league stage clash. But before that, Brendan Rodgers' side must first make the trip to Denmark to take on Midtjylland, who are currently topping the league phase after 3 games. Feyenoord fans landed their club in hot water this week after letting off fireworks and unfurling a giant banner reading "Welcome to our lunatic asylum" during their match against Panathinaikos. The pyrotechnic display could be enough to trigger UEFA's disciplinary action, as the Rotterdam outfit were already on a suspended sentence for similar behaviour during a Champions League tie with Bayern Munich earlier this year. That warning stated that any repeat within 2 years would see the entire Gerard Meyer tribune, one of De Kuip's most vocal stands, shut for 1 game. If UEFA enforces the punishment, it could mean up to 10,000 seats lie empty when Celtic come calling, significantly reducing the typically fierce atmosphere inside the 51,000 capacity De Kuip. The decision is expected to be confirmed following UEFA's latest disciplinary review, with Feyenoord bracing for another costly sanction from European football's governing body. In other news, Chris Sutton has cast doubt over the timing of Brendan Rodgers' unexpected BBC interview. The surprise interview aired last week on the BBC, with a full transcript on their website. While Rodgers didn't discuss his future or hint at any departure, many fans believe the appearance was a subtle reminder to English clubs that he remains available, with his current Celtic contract set to expire next summer. On the surface, the chat seemed harmless, but sections of the support have viewed it as a calculated move from the Celts boss, coming at a time when speculation around his long-term commitment is already swirling. Writing in his Daily Record column, Sutton questioned the circumstances around the interview. He said, "Match of the Day interviews on the BBC last weekend. Why did that come about? Seemed like odd timing. Sutton had earlier claimed that Rodgers could be eyeing an exit from Celtic. reigniting debate over whether the manager is planning for the long haul in Glasgow or subtly keeping his options open. The manager will have been at Celtic for nearly 6 years by the time that summer rolls around, a long time for anyone to be at the club. Maybe he and the club will decide they both need some freshness. Only time will tell, and only Brendan Rodgers will know what he wants to do. Lastly, Neil Lennon has opened up about his infamous dugout clash with Ali McCoist at Celtic Park, admitting he doesn't talk to the former Rangers assistant about the incident. The flashpoint came during the fiery Scottish Cup replay between Celtic and Rangers in March 2011, a match that saw 3 Rangers players sent off and tensions boil over at full time. Reflecting on the confrontation 14 years later, Lennon told the Scottish Sun that the disagreement stemmed from El Hadji Diouf barging one of his physios. "I'd had a pop at Diouf, and Coisty took offence to that," Lennon said. "It's just words, really. In the rivalry, you don't want to give an inch either way. We don't really talk about it because everyone else does." Lennon added that Walter Smith later gave both benches a stern telling off. "Walter told us to behave ourselves, grow up, and that was it." Despite the controversies of that season, Lennon led Celtic to the Scottish Cup and went on to secure 9 consecutive league titles. He later famously guided the club to victory over Barcelona in the Champions League and into the knockout stages, discovering talents like Fraser Forster, Victor Wanyama, and Virgil van Dijk along the way. Looking back, Lennon acknowledged how much he's matured since that explosive night, though, as the article humorously notes, you wouldn't rule out another touchline flashpoint in the future. Lastly, Celtic's win against Sturm Graz was a much-needed breath of positivity. Despite an abject start when Tommy Horvath opened the scoring with a stunning hit, second-half goals from Liam Scales and Benjamin Nygren secured a first Europa League win of the season for Brendan Rodgers' side. Rodgers hit out at the experts outside after the game and called the team's performance outstanding, despite the controversy surrounding his earlier comments comparing his Celtic squad to a Honda Civic. Speaking to Sky Sports, James Forrest revealed Rodgers' pre-match message before the win over Sturm Graz. "That's part of playing for a big club. It's never always going to go smoothly." The manager said before the game last night that in difficult periods, that's your chance to show as a player that you've got the character, that you've got the strength to come back in difficult moments. "I think it was a great start last night. We were 1-0 down and the boys did show that." So just to take that into Sunday, Forrest added that Rodgers spoke about the need for patience, reminding players that not every game will be won early, but the key is finding a way to get ahead regardless. This weekend's clash with Hearts, who currently sit 5 points clear in the league, has been billed as a defining moment in Celtic's domestic campaign. With an injury crisis developing, Rodgers insists he has enough to worry about, but knows that defeat would only intensify the scrutiny on both him and the team.
What do you think of what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.